Good Wednesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles, the dogs, the campers, the pool, the attitude, the stickers. Hey, thank you, Bob. Bob from Melbourne, Florida, reached out to my channel on Ice Age TV comments at Gmail and asked for some stickers. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bob, for wanting to help participate in my channel and share the channel with others. Very nice of you. Very nice of Bob there. And Bob is really just exactly X amount of miles east of where we are in Florida. We're on the Tampa West Coast side. He's on the East Coast side, so it's like a direct line from one side to the other. Here's Kiefer boy. Thank goodness he's going to be okay. So thank you, Bob. And he's got a beautiful 2023 Ford Explorer ST. And he has a 2019 C300. And he's got a Harley Davidson 2023 Fat Boy. Hey, don't do that. Jeez, that Kiefer dog, he just loves. Wow. Anyways, hey, good morning to all those who watch my channel. Appreciate all support, all the great comments, and interaction with all of those. And I hope the other gentleman there got my $20 bill. Reach out to me, Mitchell. Let me know if you got your $20 bill. That means somebody stole it from the post office. So for Mitchell out there in Kansas, let me know. I'd appreciate the input on the never-ending adventures of Ice Age TV with all the cars and trucks and motorcycles. And it's a beautiful Wednesday morning. It's hot up here, that's for sure. It's the summertime, end of the month. Hard to believe. It's July 31st. And we're now going into August. And as my friend Brian says down there in Georgia, sounds like the kids are going back to school tomorrow, the 1st of August. Wow. And so it's just incredible. Football preseason's right around the corner. The days and months are moving quickly. Now, if you really watch my channel, it's so aggravating. YouTube, I swear, plays with my channel. I really do. I posted a video of this project yesterday of the Bison Cam Day, the run to the dump that trashed my whole truck and trailer to clean it up all afternoon. And I'm not lying to you. I posted that video late yesterday afternoon. It never posted. I had to post it again. I don't think that thing even posted until probably midnight last night. And I just think, what is going on? Is somebody at YouTube deliberately just doesn't like my channel? And there's somebody in the back end that does things? I truly believe there is. I truly believe we live in a world of devious people that just get off on doing harm to others. But here's the trailer. I took a lot of time and cleaned up. There's the power washer. And I did spend a lot of time because this trailer just hasn't been cleaned in ages. And even for me, it's hard to believe this trailer is probably about 6 to 7 years old. And another subscriber out there, I was talking about the price of these, and he's saying, I'm thinking this thing's probably about an $8,000 or $9,000 trailer. He's saying it's like a $13,000 or more trailer. So that was interesting to hear that comment. And but anyways, if you look here, I really did spend a lot of time cleaning up all that. If anybody didn't see the video, it's about me going to the dump yesterday and getting rid of all the debris that was in this trailer from the pool project. And my trailer, first of all, didn't work. I couldn't get the dump thing to work. It took forever for that because the battery's so low. But then it was the whole dump being trashing the ground, the mud, which is like the dump trash, got splattered on all of my truck and trailer, and it's just nasty ass stuff. And it took me a long time to really clean this truck up, not to have that stuff really just get encrusted into the vehicle where it, in my opinion, it stains things and it's hard to get rid of it. So got it all cleaned up. That was a heck of a project. And for me, I can just spend every day of my life just detailing and cleaning cars. I mean, but I don't. I used to do that type of stuff, but anymore, it is what it is. And our subscriber reached out. It's like, where's the race truck? And you know what's incredible? Where's the race truck? So, and they haven't called me yet. I dropped that race truck off Friday afternoon to pick up the Dark Horse. They said it'd probably be done Saturday. I said, no rush. It'll be done Monday. Now it's Wednesday. No phone call. Did somebody take the race truck and go racing in it? Hey, here's Don. Don, a huge participant on my channel. Don interaction on a daily basis out of Vienna, West Virginia, with his wife Ginny and her little dog. I can't think of the name of the dog right now, Don, but he, in exchange for that GoPro, he gave me some really nice die-cast vehicles. That was very nice of him, so cool. And what's crazy is this thing is heavy. That truck right there, I bet you that thing weighs 5 pounds. It's incredible how heavy that is compared to like today's that is in Bala. But what's interesting is John got these because that's the birth year, 1959. So that's why he had, I mean, all sincereness, I'm very impressed that he gave up these to me. I mean, you didn't need to. I never gave out my GoPro with the thought that you got to give me something for something else. That isn't how I am. If I'm going to give you something, I'm going to give you something. It isn't going to be like, oh, I did this, you got to do that. That isn't how I operate. But I accepted the gesture because it was very nice of him to do that. And so once again, thank you, Don, for being very courteous. And he's at the GoPro, and he's figuring it out. It's not easy trying to figure out how to download videos off of those handheld devices. Yeah, ask me how I know. Boy, it's really just thick air. It's just so much. It's like there's water in the air. And that's what I thought to myself today is what can we talk about that keeps the channel active and having fun. And the good news is for Kiefer, it's just an irritation of his skin from apparently the dog food that he's eating. And me, the numbnut that I am, it's so funny. Our trainer, Amanda, the breeder, she adamantly told us when we got back in Florida to change out his dog food, and she put on a different dog food because this science diet, sensitive skin and stomach, is actually creating his allergy problems with not only his skin but his ears. But I was like, I had like 6 bags of the science diet because I had it on a weekly basis delivery, and since we were gone, we ended up having a lot of dog food. And so I had like basically $500 worth of dog food sitting in my house, and I'm like, we're going to use that up. Then I'm not going to go out and buy more damn dog food. It's just too damn expensive. So it's classic. Yesterday, Amanda texted, why wouldn't your dad just return that dog food and got a refund? Yeah, duh. And then we could just put Kiefer on the program of the new dog food that she said the whole litter that she had of dogs all have the same problem. And you have to put the dog on a certain brand product. But my challenge is then all the dogs have to be on that product because separating the dog food in my house with 5 dogs, I just don't have it. I just don't have that patience and constant having to split up all the dogs from all the food. It's too much work. So all the dogs have to adapt to whatever food he's eating. And that's the thing. They all adapted to his food. Yeah, it's a lot. It's expensive. But anyways, just to give you a heads up, it wasn't a dog bite because I was very concerned that if one of my dogs bit the other dog, I've never had that. All the years I've owned dogs, I've never had my own dogs biting each other and going after them. And Kiefer, as you know, he's a very aggressive dog. And some of my subscribers have forewarned me that dog's going to go into one of your dogs and it's going to be a bad scene. So yesterday, that was definitely a thought like, oh no, here we go. You know, we now have a major problem where one of the dogs is going after Kiefer and biting him. And that's not good. So, but the good news is that's not what happened. All right, so what do we talk about today? Being on a Monday, we talked about the lies among us. And yesterday, we talked about the tree. And something I didn't recognize here's my good morning look. I need to get, I don't care right now. I'm just on the page, I'm having fun. Can't you just have fun in life, right? Just wearing my junky shoes and my summer attire. Yeah, so the tree, I never recognized Jesus Christ. Think about that. What piece of wood probably would go down as the most recognized piece of wood ever in the Christian world was the cross. The cross. Jesus Christ was put on a cross and sacrificed for us if you're a Christian or, whatever. But I thought to myself yesterday after I finished up, wow, I should have brought that up. But you can talk about trees all day long, about all the different things. So I thought today, why don't we make it the water conversations? And that's challenging to a degree to take that to use the cars and trucks and motorcycles, but it's kind of in some ways easy because if you look at the collection of my vehicles here, you look at all the motorcycles and all the cars, which one of these doesn't have water to cool the engine? And I tell you, even for me thinking this through, I would have to say the Honda Monkey. There's the Honda Monkey. I believe the Honda Monkey is just an air-cooled engine. I don't believe it has a, I don't know why it would. So right there, here's an engine that is non-liquid cooled. The two-stroke bike, that's a liquid cooled motor. And as you know, as an engine person, that you need to have typically liquid, a substance with water in that engine to help keep the engine cool to make it run properly and not end up blowing up or cracking. But also, if you stop and think about it, the Harley Davidson, the good old V-twin right here in front of me, that is a waterless, no water in that generation, cooling. It has an oil cooler instead, but this generation, this actually went to the water-cooled generation. And over here, I think you can see the little water, there's a little water container holder. So for 2024, 2023, I think, for the new model CVOs, they did go to the water. And over the years, Harley has had the upper cylinder head water setup as well. They've kind of gone back and forth on that. But for the most part, the Harleys have been just the naturally aspirated V-twin motor with no coolant system in them besides the oil cooler. So there's that on that. But then I thought, when you look at water, so what is water? I think most people, they understand what water is, but what creates water? Well, H2 is hydrogen atoms, and O is oxygen. So you've got one oxygen to two hydrogens for the molecular makeup of water. And it's inorganic, it's tasteless, it's smellless, unless you're going to the frickin' septic field. So for just water, it's clear. And what's the challenge more than ever for mankind is water. Even though 70% of the world, 70% of the world is covered in water. And I think a lot of people know that. And like close to 70% of your body is water. That's kind of variation. But what's really intriguing is of the 70% of water in the world, close to 97% of that water is the ocean with salt water. It's not fresh drinking water unless mankind gets creative and has to use technology to try to extract the salt out and make it fresh water, which that's a whole other ball game. But the whole point is, it's hard to believe between the glaciers, the underground aqua systems, and water, only 3% of the world is actually fresh drinking water. And what's even sadder is in the the third world countries, the developing countries, 600 million people don't have access to fresh water. And then it goes into the billions of people that are challenged for even having drinking water. It's that kind of there sounds a little funky, but we know that in this world, the fresh water is a challenge. But what's even more intriguing is that mankind uses up to 70 to 80% of water for the agricultural, for growing the crops and foods. And so what this all means is the water is a challenge for mankind for access and availability. And it's just crazy in how we're in wars. We're in wars that are fighting over religious beliefs, but yet in some ways you think we should be in water wars because of the challenge for the undeveloped countries having access to water. And we're spending all this money in wars instead of trying to build infrastructure to help the billions of people that don't have that, that real ease and convenience such as our country does. And it's not everywhere. It's not in the West. The Colorado River, the fight over the river, who gets the water, who the farmers are getting their water turned off. That's more in depth than I really know. But here's something that's very concerning for me, kind of changing the subject from the water, but it all relates to how mankind operates and how we look at things and how we think that we know what's right versus wrong. And yeah, then there's the hydrogen cars. Yeah, I'm sure that's another conversation in great depth I could go into, but I'm not that in depth on that technology and focus on that today. But what's very concerning is that this guy Ismail over here in Israel just took out a top Hamas political figure over in Tehran, Iran, and it's very concerning. And they just took out a Hezbollah key military official as well. So Israel is starting to, in some ways, go to the overreach where they're going into the backyard of Iran and terminating key religious and military leaders and political leaders. And you have to say to yourself, wow, you just have to really wonder how much longer Iran doesn't just get into a total confrontation with Israel and what's holding them back. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people here on my channel can all think the same things, because I'm sure they're concerned that we would be right behind Israel and we could do a lot of damage to Iran should they opt to go that direction. But once again, when you read the articles from apparently yesterday, when the new president was brought into Iran, this political Hamas leader, older gentleman, but you read the stories of what's going on. So this Ismail, that's his first name, like Hayenya, I think is his last name. I don't think I'm pronouncing it correctly. But it's interesting to read about how his kids have already been terminated and killed. His grandchildren have been terminated and killed. So it's just a thing, it's just like a ladder of what Israel is doing. Israel is tracking down all the family members, and they're exterminating all of his children. And since they've done that, now the latest is they just exterminated him. And then Israel, by no means, is done. They're going to continue to track down all these Hamas and Hezbollah leaders that are creating havoc for Israel, and they're going to kill them. And you just got to wonder when Iran or when the Middle East just doesn't eventually put their foot down and say, we're, for Israel, the wrath of war is now. So very, very concerning for me as an individual, and I'm sure many others are, but who follows that every day? But the point of that is that the amount of money being spent on wars, think of Russia, Ukraine, it's incredible, the billions of dollars and the sacrifices that are being made to these wars over land. It's over land. If you think about it, it's a lot about it's over the land. The Palestinian and Israel relationship over Israel being given that area has always been a major turf war for the most part. Russia, it's a turf war for the most part. But you think to yourself, here we are with people in the world that have no water, have not potable water. If you understand that, potable water is drinking water, then non-potable water means not safe drinking water. You have to scratch your head of mankind's, its focal point is over the land and religion, but yet there's people being brought in this world through the masses, and they're not self-sufficient of having clean drinking water or water to clean things or to use. And that's what's so just kind of disgruntling to some point for me being younger, because I talked last week in great length about 1992. I quit my full-time oil job making money where I was going to continue to make more money, and I went into the waterless car wash industry, the pyramid scheme, the network marketing thing, and I got very involved in that, and I truly thought that I was bringing something to the market that would benefit and help others. And I still have a bottle of this product right here. You can still get it, I believe. And so the whole point is, it's incredible how you can go now, for me, 32 years ago, I was on the page that the future of the water would be a huge challenge to mankind. And if mankind can change the way he cleans cars and other vehicles, that it would help keep the fresh drinking water. Because that's the running joke, that so many people in our country use fresh drinking water to clean all their cars and vehicles, and yet there's people overseas that don't even have access to fresh clean water, and we're just sitting here, we just waste it like you can't believe. And so 32 years later, not much has changed. And so you have to say to yourself, with all this green agenda, the EV agenda, all this transitioning, and so mankind is stubborn. Us as individuals, we're stubborn and we're stubborn. We don't like change. That's just who we are. It's the good and the bad. It goes with that. So now, for us, does the EV age really ever manifest like so many think it will? When so many are so content with the ice age that makes so much sense. I'll tell you what's here is really disturbing to me right now is Geico. My Florida insurance policy has gone through the roof. I actually had to call Geico last week. I haven't talked about this, but this is really bad because this is going to start to put a lot of hardships on me on what is going to stay. I really have to honestly say that if I can't figure out how to raffle cars off and get them, then the repo man's probably going to get them because the insurance has gone. My insurance has gone through the roof. So in Virginia, I'm not seeing that same reflection when I do an insurance quote on a car. It's like a half the cost of Florida. And I know a lot of people be like, well, why the hell do you have all your damn cars in Florida anyways? Well, it comes all to the damn personal property tax that the county here wants to put on your vehicles. And for like this F450 truck, I'm not embellishing to you, this would be a $7,000 or $8,000 personal property tax Virginia tag on it. Now, I'm paying $3,000 a year insurance on it, versus if it was Virginia tagged, I'd pay $1,500 a year probably on insurance for that truck. So insurance is double, if not more now. So I'm still, in so many ways, $5,000 ahead. And so for me, paying the county, I'm not embellishing, in 1 year, $65,000 in taxes for my cars, it gets really old. So the problem is, since these vehicles are certain weights and I own a company and they're registered in the company name, they're 100% taxed. So you can just start counting up all these vehicles of mine, that the Lightning truck, that'll be $5,000 personal property, $6,000, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000. I just told you that. That'll take it up to about 17. That'll take it up to about that'll be about another 5. That'll take it up to like 22. That'll take it up probably about another 4 to 5. You're at, 27. You go over there, the Charger, that'll probably come in about $4,500. You're at 31. The F250 truck back there, you're going to be at least at probably about another 6 or 7. So I'm not even done yet. Okay, so I'm gonna have a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 tax bill, if not $80,000 tax bill, for just cars to sit on my property. And so, but now the challenge is, it's turned into the insurance challenge, where the insurance has now become so expensive that it's very challenging for me to say, oh, is it even worth it? Is it even worth it now to be paying out $10,000 a month in insurance? Yeah, you think I'm making these type of numbers up? Oh, it's more than that. So to me, it's like, wow. So for Florida, when I talk to a representative, it has nothing to do with my driving record. Because for the most part, I have a clean driving record. Nothing to do with my kid, per se. And so it's none of that. It's, the representative said, it's the cost of fixing cars that have gotten so expensive, we have but no choice to raise the rates. But this is in Florida. I'm not seeing this in Virginia. So what's going on in Florida? You have to say to yourself, and think about Florida. When you think about Florida, what's the number one thing you think about? The water. The water. Why do people go to Florida? Because they want to be at the beach. They want to be able to go boating. They want to be able to go do the golfing, the tennis, the country clubs, go to see all the fancy shows for Disney World or whatever. And so I know I'm kind of stuttering here this morning a little bit. Sorry about that, but it's about just me thinking things through as I kind of talk to you. And so, yeah, so what's the number one thing that drives Florida? Florida has like the biggest boating ownership anywhere, I think, in the world. Yeah, I mean, think of that through. For Florida, the boating industry is probably the biggest in the world because it has really, I'd have to say, a solid 7 months, 6 to 7 months of reasonable boating time. I mean, you can boat down there all year round, but it is cool in the winter months. I mean, when it hits December, January, February, March, even April, they can have some cold months down there, but the waters don't freeze up. And that's another thing that's interesting. Water freezes at 32 degrees per se. Ocean waters, because of salt, freezes at like 28.8 degrees. So the oceans take a little bit more colder weather to freeze up than regular clear drinking water with no salt in it. So then the whole point of that is so many people have flocked to Florida. The infrastructure of that state has been overwhelmed with growth. And is the insurance industry more challenged down there because there's just more now accidents and more challenges in that state with cars and trucks? Just like in California, a lot of insurance companies pulled out of California from the catastrophic damage of the so-called climate change, of the fires, of the summer fires, which I lived out in California, and that was always a big problem. And I witnessed that back in the early 70s, mid 70s. Out there in California, just so you know, for the summer months, it pretty much doesn't rain. That's just that type of area, and it's very dry weather. It isn't humid. This is up in the northern part of California, San Francisco. So for the summer months, you have this. You have incredibly sunny days, day in, day out. You do get some foggy days, but the rains subside, and it's very dry weather, which is why people love California, because you don't have the humidity factor up north, not down south. Different ball game down in San Diego and Las Vegas. So that's why people love that California, because you have beautiful 80, 90 degree day out, and it's not this sauna effect on you like you do have up here in the other parts of the country. And so that's what draws people to just love to live there, of many other things besides the whack job politicians that are running into the ground. And so the point of that is that it gets very dry there because no water. And then you have a very much more susceptible chance of, like my yard, catching on fire, because I remember seeing all the hills around us, they all turned brown. And every now and then there would be a fire on the hill in the mountain. And those are, big mountains, big hills. But what's the number one thing they use per se to put out a fire? It's water. Sure, there's chemical ingredients and other things, but that's a huge thing. But what I'm talking about is how the insurance industry pulled out of California for a lot of homeowners. A lot of insurance companies abandoned that market because it became too risky and too expensive. And so a lot of people lost their insurance. This even went on down in Florida for my parents because of the hurricanes. They've gone through numerous insurance companies down there over the years because the hurricanes have done so much damage that a lot of insurance companies have pulled out. They don't even do with it. It's too risky. What's the number one challenge of Florida? It's water. Water that comes in and wreaks havoc on the communities when you have the ocean, the tidals change, and they're 8 feet above sea level, 6 feet above sea level. We've all seen it. And what's interesting is, for me, I talk about this all the time. I remember back in 2007 and 2008 when Florida was kind of getting hammered with some pretty good storms down there. But I remember all these so-called scientists were predicting that the hurricanes were going to grow exponentially because of the climate change, and it's going to be horrific damage down there all the time. Well, I'd like to know, it's really usually August, September that these hurricanes start to really kind of churn out there in the Atlantic Ocean and start to come up into our territories of the Florida, the Gulf, and that's typically when it starts to happen. And for me, when I travel to Florida, I try not to be down there in September and even October for that reason, because I don't want to be part of the having to evacuate the state and be sitting in bumper to bumper traffic for hours on end. Anybody who lives in Florida knows that if you're in a mandatory evacuation area and you're forced out because of the threat of you being underwater, then you got to go. And some people don't, but technically you're supposed to leave. And you know that you'll leave your state and you may not get back back to your residence for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month. It just depends. If that storm hits your neighborhood, then you may be living in a hotel and having a whole different lifestyle as you have been forced out of your home and living areas and communities, and you now have to be, you have to wait. This goes on. Anybody lives in Florida, I'm sure, like, yep, exactly. I've been in that. I've been in the hours and hours of bumper-to-bumper traffic trying to get out of state to get up to Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, North Carolina to get out of that track of that hurricane. And who doesn't know the stories of the gas stations all run out of gas? Because everybody flocks to the gas station like everybody did during the pandemic to buy toilet paper and paper towels that in bottled water and instantly cleaned out, the big warehouses, Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, BJ's, all those places were cleaned out instantly when people knew they were going to be forced to stay at home. Well, same thing happens down there in Florida. All the gas stations run out of gas because everybody and their brother shows up to buy gas at the same time to leave town. So far, my parents have been blessed. My family's been blessed. I've been down there since '91, and they've skated every hurricane so far. Every direct hit hurricane at the last second goes somewhere else. One of my subscribers, I think the help desk, mentioned that, no, it was the other gentleman, Vito. He's still waiting to see New York City underwater. By all the climate experts that are, saying that with the climate change that the water's going to overtake land. And I mean, I'm sure over time, thousands of years, whatever, as we all know, that Mother Nature Earth wasn't what it is today. If you go millions and millions, you go 300 million or 3 billion years ago, whatever the time frame is. I'm not the archaeologist. I'm not the biologist. I'm not the scientist. So I'm just speaking out of the tongue, and I could be off on all that stuff, so don't take it to the heart on everything I say. All right, so here we are, as always. It's always the car challenges, and yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I got to put my thinking hat. I'm going to put my thinking hat on to figure out how the challenge is for me, because you're talking about, for me, about a $30,000 increase in insurance premiums, and somebody be like, what? Yeah, I mean, I'm not lying to you. My insurance has gone through the roof in Florida. So I'm at a crossroads. What am I going to do? And the challenge is, for every one of these vehicles, every one of them has a debt on them, but every one of them is owed more than they're worth. So how does that all play out? Yeah, I don't know. It's very challenging just for everybody there. My wife gets kind of pissed at me for sharing this information, but I'm like, who cares? I don't care. I really don't care. I mean, sincerely, I've been through a lot in my life, and so what? Okay, yeah. I mean, I get more people irritated at me because I have too much. This is some rich ass guy versus, the guy got this taken away from him. Oh, well, he deserves it. I mean, cool. I mean, I get all that thought process. I mean, whatever. But I think I'm blessed because I have the coolest subscribers, in my views, on my channel that support me, and they're very true to the heart, and I feel that through their comments, and so that's what's great about my channel. That's why I'm very fluid, and I'm very transparent, because I think that most people here that know me understand who I am, and it's the addictions of buying another car and truck, and does it make any sense at the end of the day? Not really. Do I suffer the consequences at some point? Possibly. Did I always hope my YouTube channel would be so popular that I'd be the junior Cletus McFarland, that I'd make my millions or my thousands? Did I ever think that maybe the YouTube channel would take off and make me some good money to help my addictions and habits? I did, but it's obvious that, that's a pipe dream on the YouTube community, because it seems like the YouTube community loves all the negative news and all the dire straight news, and when it comes to the fun factor, it just seems like you got to be the guy like Cletus McFarland that goes out and does something stupid crazy, and it looks like Super Dave from the 80s, and I guess early 90s, if people understand all of that. Yeah, all right, well, that's pretty much it. I'm going to kind of wrap it up with that, because another busy day. Got to get my race truck. Got to call the dealership, find out about the race truck. I got to get my Ford Mustang up the road to get it inspected. I got to go pay the county personal property tax because they're going to put a lien on me because I have so much money owed just to this county. I'm not lying. I have a huge amount of money owed to this county, and I got a nasty letter from the county that if I don't get some money brought to the county by today, they're going to go start getting really, really nasty with me. And it's such the worst. It's so bad that the county I live in the state I live in, they love to take all your money because you own personal property things, and they want to tax you. Not only do they tax you when you buy it, you have to pay a sales tax to buy the vehicle, but then they want to charge you tax every year for you to have the privilege for the truck or car to sit in your property. Is that, I mean, you don't own anything. If you live in the state of Virginia, you don't own any of these vehicles. You don't own your house. You don't own the land because the tax man has the right to it. And if you don't pay your taxes and you don't pay your personal property taxes, they have the right to take this stuff from you. That's what we live in a society of, but yet there's a ton of people out there that want to continue to vote in politicians like Kamala Harris that want to get even more radical and controlling you, and people are jumping up and down on this. What is wrong with people? Even the point, you don't know what's right or wrong, but she's saying she's definitely going to get the gun confiscation from us gun people. She's going to be working her ass off. Yeah, her ass. Yeah, you know what that means? Yeah, you know what that condescending comment means. She's going to work her ass off to make sure that all the citizens of this country relinquish their guns, because we're a threat to their well-being. Wow, it gets heavy and deep. I'll leave it at that, everybody. Hey, as always, subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for more adventures, and reach out for a sticker to share the love of my channel. Do I have the love? I think I do. But let me know. Just email me. icehtvcomments@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. And I'm going to get your stickers out today, just so you know there. So anyways, that's it. Have a great day. God bless.